Just three radio hosts on air dumb debating.
It's time for Dumb Debates, your chance to submit to the Grum. Send us your dumb debates. You can do that anytime. It doesn't have to be right now. It can be anytime.
Anytime.
Sitting on the can.
Look at these cans.
No, you're sitting on the can.
Sitting on the
Are
can.
you talking about John's light cans?
Nice.
You could be waiting at the doctor's office. Just anytime the moment, and you just go, man, that would be a great dumb
Just
debate.
Staring at
Fire it
things
off
on
to
your
us.
phone.
JTech Construction Zone Twitter page at USC1620.
Mm-hmm.
Email Equitable Bank inbox, John at 1620thezone.com, Josh at 1620thezone.com. You can even text him if you want to the
Yeah, you can. It's just a little harder.
to the French Dipper hotline.
It's just a little harder.
A what?
There was a commercial for Arby's or Panera French Dipper, and I said
Oh.
French Dipper. I forgot to give the hotline a name today. It's the French Dipper hotline now.
Could have called it the Ichiro Suzuki hotline.
Why would I do that? He got enough glory yesterday.
Not enough, John.
Yeah, he was one vote away from all the glory.
Oh, darn.
Where's Lou Holtz? I bet it was him.
Here's a question, John, that was sent to us from Dave Fight, originally asked by Kevin Suits of 1011 in Lincoln.
Does he have a lot of suits?
Where is it?
Well, he's a TV guy.
So
yeah.
where is 10 and where is it 11?
Channel 10, KOLN TV, Lincoln,
Lincoln,
or KGIN TV, Grand Island.
Okay.
Nice.
That's not my dumb debate question.
Lincoln, Grand Island.
That wasn't Kevin's
That's why it's called
question.
1011.
That makes sense.
Kevin asked Family Debate from the weekend, what's the most universally well-known song of all time? Like when it plays, everyone recognizes the song and most know the lyrics, at least the start or the chorus.
Oh, see, I was going to say Seven Nation Army until they said the lyrics.
Oh.
Yeah. But
So
I don't-
mine, I did think of a song that we hear at sporting events is my answer. I think the answer is Don't Stop Believin'.
What about Sweet Caroline?
Oh, my God.
Ba, ba. They do play that
I
at
would like to
weddings.
They
think,
play it. At
I would
metal
like
shows.
to think that there are people who live in the deepest, darkest rainforests of Brazil
Oh, the ones that don't.
that have
into
never heard that
contact.
crap, but they have heard the birthday song.
Ooh, happy birthday.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of people know like Thunderstruck, but that's just because people are obsessed with the 80s and
And
bad
it's
80s
and it's
music.
great music and it's awesome and it should be used more often, unlike Sweet Caroline.
They hear
which is
Thunderstruck and
poison.
they're like, "Wait, I thought this was Highway to Hell. It sounds the same."
Baymon says
sounds the same.
Auld
I'll
Lang
give you sounds the
Auld
same.
Lang Syne, the most known worldwide. See, I don't know the words though. Da-na-na-na. I know the.
Well, you
tone.
know, do you have to know
I mean,
the
they did
words?
specify words.
Oh, well, it's a birthday song. It's a birthday song. Everybody knows a birthday song.
Do they sing it in other languages in the same beat?
Yeah, is it the same melody across the world?
Maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
Quick.
That's a good one.
Sing it in German, John.
Eins, zwei, drei. Yeah, see, I don't know how it sounds in German.
German.
1, 2,
Vier,
3.
Yeah, but now you're just counting. Man, John, that you might be right.
7, 8, 9.
Look at us, the German boys.
Interesting.
10. What was 11?
It's probably not
Elf.
It's
Elf. Oh,
Elf,
that's
Wolf.
right. Elf.
Then 13, 14, 15, 16.
Actually, it's probably a really good thing that you guys still remember some German.
Nice, Nick. Andy says Bohemian Rhapsody. Matthew says, what about the English alphabet song?
That's just
A,
Twinkle,
B,
Twinkle,
C,
Little Star.
D, E, F, G. H, I,
I
J,
wonder
K,
how
L,
you
M, N,
Right, but if
are
you're Chinese,
above the world so high.
So yeah, we did do in German. We
Or
did
Russian.
I believe we did do that. We did it in the same tune.
Melody.
Say day. I think we did it. Yeah. Thank you, Nick. You are of music.
Mhm.
Dave brings up the other song that I was going to mention. If the birthday song is off the table, I'm going to go with YMCA. They were the biggest
Young
band.
man.
They were one of the biggest bands in the world. That song is played all. I mean, it's still played.
Mhm.
yeah.
President T loves that song.
What about Freebird? That's everyone, people at a show.
Mm.
Freebird.
It's more of a bit thing. I don't
Yeah.
think. See,
I mean, a lot of people have heard it.
yeah, but you got to find the youngs. Like, what do the youngs know? And that's where Happy Birthday is gonna.
Yeah,
It's
because
gonna
they've
win over
heard it since they
everything.
were a baby.
Yeah, they really have. They really have.
Everyone has sung it. Everyone sings it multiple times a year,
Mm-hmm.
unless you have no friends or no family.
Oh, what Nick had that
I
Evan,
have
that Evan
family
guy.
and my friend Evan. We were best friends.
Yeah, racist best friends.
I used to play baseball games with him.
Wow. And then baseball went away when Evan went away.
Yeah, and you know what? They were the Braves and the Indians.
Yikes, Nick. Krecky says something from the Beatles. See, I don't think it is. I mean, at one point in time, sure. But at this moment, I don't think so. I mean, I really do think it's the birthday song.
That's a really good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate to take the easy way out, but that's kind of what it is.
Ian texts in, and yes, UNO. Yeah, that's da-da-da.
Everybody knows that.
Listen, we have a few years behind the birthday song, but with time, I think we can make it happen.
What about, and I'm serious, the main song from Star Wars?
Well, it's funny you say that because Kevin tweets in. Until you said words, I was going to say the Imperial March from Star Wars. So yeah, when you start thinking about very popular movies.
Now,
but no lyrics.
Yeah, there's no lyrics.
But it's a very famous song. A lot of people have seen that one. Even people who don't know Star Wars know they definitely know the Imperial March. Bum, 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 bum. Jimmy Allen says, host of After Hours with Jimmy Allen. Isn't the answer the national anthem? I think you mean Star Spangled Banner.
Well, people in France, I mean, no, not necessarily.
Also, other countries have some cooler sounding anthems than we do.
Well, it isn't that about what the cool songs are.
I know.
It's just, what's most known.
Nobody around the world cares about our anthem.
Maybe it's the Notre Dame fight song. Every other high school uses it.
It's
a good one.
Mark says, kid's a swimmer. Everyone of the thousands of meets have played Don't Stop Believin'.
Again,
see, if you're trying to move away from like birthday, like that type of stuff, I think Don't Stop Believin' is very high on the list.
And I think that's because, again, society's obsessed with 80s music, and it's just pervasive. It's everywhere.
This isn't soapbox segment, Nick. This is what is the answer.
But I think stop pouting.
I think it's a fair thing to bring up.
Well, sure. If you want to talk about why it's that song, I guess that wasn't the dumb debate. Wasn't why is Don't Stop Believing.
The best part is 20 years from now, when it should be moved on to another generation, it'll still be 80s music because they don't make good music today.
That's not true. You sound so old, John.
Well, yeah. In the future, it's going to be Mr. Brightside. Behringer fan says, check the back seat. Tony says, shark, baby shark. Do.
I don't know.
Enough people who don't have kids don't know that song.
I feel like Baby Shark has gone the way of Gangnam Style. And remember, at one point, Gangnam Style was it.
Do you think John knows that song?
Had the most views on YouTube.
Hey, sexy lady.
That was the first video on YouTube to have, what, 1 million or 1 billion views?
I think 1 billion. The first one that I remember, the first big YouTube video I remember was the
or OK Go?
No, it was the guy who danced. And it was like every style of dance.
Oh, the history of that guy came to my school once for an assembly.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, but it was like years after he was relevant. He's just doing school talks.
Rick asks, you call customer service for assistance.
Customer what?
The recording says we are experiencing a higher than normal call volume. Is there ever a time you call in and it's not a higher than normal call volume, or is that their standard line?
It is a standard line, and I can confirm that because one time I called someone, it was, we are experiencing a higher whatever. You are caller number 1. And I was like, okay, well, it can't be true that it was higher. They have that if you
That's
are not
just your default, your recording. Yeah,
100%. If you're not the next person up.
So my thoughts on this are, if you're calling a customer service hotline, chances are there's a reason you're doing that. For the specific thing, say you have a drill and the drill broke, you're calling the customer service hotline. But if the drill broke for you, it probably broke for everybody else. So those people are going to call about the drill.
Yeah. I had to call because I've been dealing with the whole flex spending this year for the first time in my life. And I had to call, and thankfully, I did it one day on my way to work, and I was on hold the entire time I drove here, which wasted very valuable podcasting time. So then the next morning I was like, I'm going to just call first thing when they open. And I was still on hold for like 15 minutes, but I just put it on speaker, sat there and did work until, the lady finally hopped on. And then I forgot to tell the story. She told me to call this number for NRG. So I call trying to figure out something. It was the other NRG.
No.
Yeah. The one that's in, that sponsored Houston Stadium. I was like, okay, this is problematic. Eventually I figured out what I needed.
What would be the worst song that you have to listen to while on hold?
The one from that annoying Family Guy episode. Bird is the word.
Yeah?
Yeah. I hate that song. Hate that episode.
I mean, there's too many to choose from. I couldn't pick one. There's,
Ba ba ba.
I mean, that's one of them. That's
John
right up
Levy.
there. That's in
But
the Hall of Fame.
The elevator music version of that song.
Hall of Fame of bad songs.
Ooh, I bet that's on YouTube somewhere. Charlie says,
I want to put everybody who thinks that's such a cool song, I want to put them all in the same
That's
room.
me.
And I want them to be stuck there for a month solid with just bread and water. And that's all they hear is that song.
That's torture.
Exactly.
John, you can't want someone
Exactly.
John is describing
it's torture.
a literal...
You have described the song as torture. Thank you.
No, John, you're describing a literal tactic that was used in Guantanamo
You could
Bay.
do that with my favorite. You could do that with Hey Jude, and it would be torture.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you wake up, if you Pavlov yourself into
I just
an
want
alarm
everyone
song.
I just want everyone to feel as I feel when that song is forced upon us in the middle of the 8th inning at every damn College World Series game.
How about you just let people enjoy things? How about that? Why can't people just be happy?
So it's okay that I have to let people enjoy things, but if you want to let people, why can't I enjoy my ACDs? No, I can't.
You can enjoy it.
Nick's got to look cross at it.
You can enjoy it. I just think that its time has passed.
Steve writes,
just like and Sweet Caroline's is really past, like way past, like 10 years before past.
Steve says people are always obsessed with earlier decades. Nick, I graduated high school in the 80s. Everyone was obsessed with the 50s. In the 90s, many people were obsessed with the 70s.
No,
yeah, right now we love the 90s.
I get that, but it took too long to get to the 90s.
Well,
is what I'm saying.
Soon we're going to be obsessed with the early 2000s, and I'm going to have a mental breakdown.
But I feel like we should have been obsessed with the early 2000s sooner than we did. I get that it's all cyclical,
Well,
but
it's probably good that we're not.
It was people were obsessed with the 80s for way longer than any other decade.
Because it was really, really good. I mean, really good. LeShun.
Oh, Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you had to select one representative of the human race to represent us in a discussion with alien life, what current or former Nebraska athletic coach would you send?
Terry Pettit. Look at me.
Terry Pettit.
Look at me.
Interesting.
I read a quote from him in a...
Not John Cook. John Cook not good enough for you. It's got to be Terry Pettit.
He's focused on recruiting right now. He's got to put together his roster.
Well, but this is recruiting aliens.
That's true.
Imagine how much better Nebraska volleyball would be with aliens.
I always feel like Terry Pettit, every time I read quotes from him, I think that guy has a very good head on his shoulders. I think that he is well-read. I think that he tries to understand both sides of the argument.
Damn,
did I steal yours?
You made a great point.
Well, I think it's him.
Tom
is too old.
Here I was trying to figure out
his mouth is too mushy.
So is the question asking for
That's Tom's mouth now.
Asking for an ambassador or just the best representative of the human race?
If you had to select a representative of the human race to represent us in a discussion with alien life, what current or former Nebraska athletic coach would you say?
So you need someone who feels like they're more in touch with the general public and not somebody who could just sweet talk.
Well, yeah, because Max says Matt Rule, he communicates very well, but would you worry that he's too much of a snake oil salesman?
Yes.
Other people's words, not mine.
I'd say Scott Frost. I feel like
Nick.
Scott Frost is the most...
No, he's not.
Real.
No, he is not. You're trolling.
I think he's a representative.
Cracky says boozed up Bob Devaney. Yeah, dig up his corpse.
I mean, as far as negotiations, especially if these are hostile aliens, Bob could loosen them up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
A little drinky drink.
Yeah, look at this
little
bourbon.
Cocktail. Maybe bring in some
aliens. Do you have bourbon?
Maybe bring in some hookers.
Nice.
But if Scott Frost goes, he can introduce them to Mars.
Margaritas. That's a great point, Nick.
Sure. But, you got to have the personality skills. You got to have those negotiation skills. I think Bob Devaney's not a terrible suggestion.
Well, but he's dead.
Two horrible suggestions would be either Danny Nee or Bo Pelini.
They would be pretty bad. What do you think about...
Because eventually they'd lose the
What about Callahan? Just because it'd be funny.
Alan says Ron Brown. I mean, you don't want any gay aliens because Ron's not going to have a good time talking to those aliens. Spot the lie. The other one that I was going to say was, what about Dave Van Horn? How would he be, do you think? You know Dave better than I do. He'd do fine.
I think he'd do okay.
Yeah.
I just think they're better,
Danny Nee. That would be funny. Because now I'm imagining the story that you've told me before.
Get Hoiberg there and have him hand him some air fresheners. Smells like me.
Oh, my gosh. Very weird.
Trying to think who else might be.
Sam says, Scott Frost waived his opening statement with Big Ten Media. We're getting the Independence Day treatment if he's talking with the aliens. Man,
that's true.
Yeah, you don't want that.
That's true.
You don't want that. Tim Miles. James says Tim Miles.
No, I don't think you want Tim Miles. You want to talk about snake oil. Come on, man.
Craigie says, hello, aliens. Let me tell you about this amazing thing we have called golden tea. Scott Frost would definitely like to talk about that.
That's true.
I mean, sometimes
Matt says Frost would probably miss the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why-
that's the other problem. And then the aliens would be like, man, you didn't even bother to come here. Shoot the photon torpedoes at us. We're goners.
So the reason I did say Scott Frost is because if we're looking for a representative of the human race, there were times where Scott Frost to me just seemed like a dude that they put in that position.
He's
Like,
not, though.
He didn't feel like very diplomatic about anything or very snake oily. He was just
You're an
a
idiot.
dude plopped there. Like if
dude
I were to be the
plopped
coach
there.
of
Yeah, but
Nebraska.
we want it to go over well. We don't want it to be bad.
But it's asking for
Yeah,
a representative, not an ambassador.
You are way overthinking this. Charlie writes, when does this week become last week? And when does next week become this week? On
Saturday.
Monday, is the most recent Sunday last Sunday or this Sunday? When does the upcoming Sunday go from next Sunday to this Sunday? If a day has passed, is it automatically last week, even if you were only one day away from said day? This and next Sunday to me happens when you cross over the previous Sunday. When you are on that then Sunday, if you were on Pro Bowl Sunday, you would say the Super Bowl is this Sunday, in my opinion. But when you are the day before, you would say the Super Bowl is next Sunday. In my
I
opinion.
have talked to people who it'll be Monday and then they'll say next Sunday.
Talking
But they
about the
mean the
Sunday that is
upcoming
6 days
Sunday.
away. Yeah,
And I hate that.
that's this
It's
Sunday.
so
Yeah,
confusing.
next Sunday is the following Sunday.
yeah, I believe when you say this Sunday, it is the next.
Yes.
It's coming up. Now, the thing is, if you're on Monday
say last
and you're
Sunday,
talking about last Sunday,
It means the previous Sunday.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
it doesn't mean
'cause-
yesterday,
doesn't
because you
mean
would just say
yesterday.
yesterday,
yeah.
which is a Beatles song that's very famous.
This question reminds me a lot of a question that's bugged me forever.
Okay.
You're not supposed to feed gremlin. What are they called before the gremlins?
The Mogwai.
The mogwai. You're not supposed to feed them after midnight, but it's always after midnight. When is it not after midnight?
It's not after midnight.
Well, it's midnight where you are.
No, what he is saying, John, is technically we are always after midnight.
Right.
It is no longer after midnight. I think at like 6 a.m. That is no longer after midnight.
But it
anymore.
is the mogwai follow time zones? Or is it supposed to be
Of
after
course they
midnight?
do.
in
They're in the
China?
time zone. We don't
It's
have to
basically
follow
like when
time
does the
zones.
new day actually start? The new day, I think, 6 a.m. is kind of when that's a new day, a fresh. When Gary and Matt are on the air, it's a brand new day.
Hmm.
It is now Thursday.
So don't
That
feed it.
could
at
have been the name of
5:59.
their show, A Brand New Day.
Oh,
Oh.
with Gary and Matt.
That's a good name.
Yep. What they named it after.
Imagine
them.
how bright and shiny that would
What
be.
about
Hey,
Hello-
welcome to A Brand New Day.
What
Wow.
about Good Morning Sports?
That's
Good
actually,
Morning Sports.
It's actually a fun name.
Hello
I'm
Sports.
so happy that our show name isn't John and Josh. No offense to Gary and Matt. I like our name. Happer wants to change his name.
Makes
Good
it
luck.
makes it harder to fire you.
Well, it makes it easier to fire. Yikes.
Exactly.
Rats.
Oof.
Baymon writes,
We need to renegotiate.
which planet in our solar system would you do away with if you had to eliminate one?
Well,
Which of our
the
planets
damn
is the
scientists
1970
or
Huskers?
the woke scientists have been trying to kill Pluto forever.
They've been trying to cancel Pluto for... Yeah, what is Pluto at this exact moment? Is it a planet or not a planet?
Dwarf
again?
planet.
See, no, what does that mean, though?
It means it's not a planet.
So why is that a dwarf
So it's
planet?
an asteroid,
Is it that much smaller
giant
than
floating rock.
Mercury? Because Mercury's not very big.
It is that much smaller than
Is it
Mercury.
really?
Yeah. There are moons that are bigger than Pluto, which is why everybody is all like, oh. Because there's also some times where Pluto can be in the same orbit as...
Yeah, but if you're Jupiter, you're looking down at a puny old Earth saying, yeah, you ain't no damn planet. You just,
So that's Pluto
I
compared to Mercury.
poop moons bigger than you.
And I don't know, Nick. Earth, if
Jupiter has any moons bigger
if
than Earth.
like Earth is a basketball and Venus is a volleyball, what would you say, John? Mercury is a softball and Pluto is a baseball.
I think it's less about
a
size.
ping-pong ball.
I think it's less about size and more about the orbits, because there are times where Pluto's orbit syncs up with some of the moons of Neptune.
Hmm.
And I think that's where the
Well,
confusion
I'm Team
kinda comes in.
Pluto.
And Pluto's so far out
so
there.
which one do you want to cancel then? Uranus?
No.
It
know
has
what?
to be
You
a
need,
planet,
you need
right?
Uranus.
Venus seems like a pain in the ass.
It's really hot. We've tried to send things there,
Gassy.
and they just melt.
See you later,
Acid
Venus.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I like
Really?
Venus.
You get rid of Venus?
What are you going to get rid of?
I'll get rid of Mercury.
Then you kill the song. I'm your Venus.
That's true.
What about Venus Williams? What'd she become?
Well, Williams.
Just becomes Williams.
Drop the Venus.
Wow,
It's clean.
taking away her name.
Wow.
No.
Hi, I'm Serena. Here's my sister, Williams. Hey, didn't
that
you
a
used to be?
girl's name?
Nope, can't say it anymore. Josh canceled Venus.
We're not allowed to anymore.
I'm getting rid of Mercury.
How come?
Boring ass planet. It's dry. It's too hot.
I mean, theoretically,
It's
they're
just there.
all boring ass planets. We've never been to any of them.
Right, but Venus
Mars
has
seems kind of cool.
Venus has cool things happening. Mars has wind.
I'm always interested in the gassy planets like Jupiter. It's pretty fascinating to me.
It's where
There's
girls
like-
go to get more stupider.
It's just like a bunch of tornadoes and hurricanes happening on the thing all the time. Then they have that big red dot.
Mhm.
Matt says, would you choose permanent weather where the temp is never above 65 or never below 85?
Say that again, please.
Permanent temp, never above 65 or never below 85. So it's always 86 or higher, or it's always 64 or lower.
I hate being hot,
Oh,
so I'm going to go with the cold.
Sadly, I got to agree.
Give me
That's
85.
not a great bargain there, man.
I'll take the 85 or higher.
I'd
Not
rather
me,
be. I'd
Because
rather
we
be
don't
cold.
get 85 or higher here without 85% or greater humidity.
I know,
So
man.
if
And
it's
it
cold,
feels like crap.
Yeah, but
and think about it. In running
I know,
temperature,
it's
that's
a million
that's-
degrees.
That's 1,000,000 degrees Kelvin.
Yeah, it's like being on Jupiter.
and if
Yeah.
if it's cold, you can put on more layers. But if it's hot, you can't shed your skin.
Bingo.
Well, you're right, Nick. You can't. I don't know, man. It's like the nicest of days being 65 is a bummer.
That's
the
perfect.
nicest. No, but that's
As Mr. I like my hoodies. I like to wear my hoodies.
I do, but I
that
like my
would be like
shorts.
85 for you when you ran.
Man, but that'd be-
That's true.
And for running, I mean, I do need to pick the first answer. Oh man,
Wow, Josh out
I
on
just
running
love
now.
shorts. I love shorts. I bought new shorts today.
You can wear
I'm getting
shorts
ready-
in 65 degrees.
Yeah, but that's just not warm enough. The best days are in the 70s.
See, again, this is a terrible bargain, but
Wow.
I've got to go with 65 and lower.
Baymon says I can live in the 55 to 64 realm just fine. 85 to 94, not so much.
Yeah, I would want
Yeah.
to die.
No, you
I
wouldn't want to,
hate
Especially if
die.
it's
It's
every
You love
day.
the College World Series.
And that's
It wasn't that hot
and
the last
that's
couple
assuming
years.
that means the low temperature at night is 85. That's it. That's as cool as it ever gets. That would be miserable.
Also, think about the electricity, Josh, the environment.
Think about that's a good point. BJ says, "Good Lord, you guys need to watch How the Universe Works. My IQ is plummeting listening to you talk about planets. What did we mess up with planets? We were just wondering about the size. I don't think we said anything stupid in there.
I mean, I might have messed up talking about the orbits, but I don't think that was wrong.
Yeah, BJ, you're the idiot. I'm sorry. Science.
Science.
Was it because I said Jupiter's where girls go to get more stupider? Because that's true, because
Maybe.
guys go to Mars to get more
Yeah.
candy bars.
Adam says Pluto is smaller than our moon.
Yes.
It is tiny.
Tiny baby.
Hmm.
Celestial body.
Does, that
And he
mean,
also
does
said-
that mean our moon gets to declare itself as being a planet?
Maybe it does.
No, because the moon is the size of a moon.
It is interesting how moons aren't just other planets, but it's because they orbit the planets.
Yes.
I understand. See, BJ? I know what's
Yeah.
going on.
We understand how all this works.
Planets. Adam also says we are no longer after midnight when the sun comes up. So it's less about an actual time and more about what time the sun rises. So in the summer, the day starts, it's no longer after midnight, earlier.
It's weird that there's this creature that biologically developed to follow human set things, concepts.
I mean, it's a movie
Not the
Nick,
sunrise I
from
guess,
the
but, like,
80s.
time.
It's a movie from the 80s.
Sure is.
I've never seen that movie.
Which one?
The
Never
one
seen
about,
Gremlins?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Oh, Gremlins. Yeah.
like I've seen like bits and pieces, but I've never watched it front to back.
Gremlins is
Ever
funny.
seen Gizmo?
Gremlins was a funny movie.
Cracky says Saturn is the goat planet. It has the most rings. I would love to see Saturn.
Did you know that Neptune and Uranus also have rings?
I do.
A lot of people don't know that.
BJ, I know about planets.
Where did Uranus get its rings?
Pharmacy.
Adam and Eve, probably.
Nice. Nice.
And that is Dumb Debates.
Man, that's awesome. What a topic.
It is a good topic.